Hare Krishna. So today we are studying from the shloka from Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, fifth chapter, shlok number 11. And this is those one of the shlokas from Srimad Bhagavatam which gives goosebumps. Literally, beautiful shloka. And Prabhupada has mentioned this shloka in the preface of Srimad Bhagavatam also. 1, 5, 11. Are we ready? Tad वाग विसर्गो जनताघ विप्लवो तद्वाग विसर्गो जनताघ विप्लवो यस्मिन् प्रतिश्लोकम् अबध्यवति अपि अबध्यवत्यपि अबद्धवत्यपि नामानि अनन्तस्य यशोंकितानि यत् नामानि अनन्तस्य यशोंकितानि यत् शृण्वन्ति गायन्ति गृह्णन्ति साधवः. Okay, complete shloka. तद्वाग विसर्गो जनताघ विप्लवो यस्मिन् प्रतिश्लोकमबद्धवत्यपि नामानि अनन्तस्य यशोंकितानि यत् शृण्वन्ति गायन्ति गृह्णन्ति साधवः. तद्वाग्विसर्गो जनताघ विप्लवो यस्मिन् प्रतिश्लोकमबद्धवत्यपि नामान्यनन्तस्य यशोंकितानि यत् शृण्वन्ति गायन्ति गृह्णन्ति साधवः. तद्वाग्विसर्गो जनताघ विप्लवो यस्मिन् प्रतिश्लोकमबद्धवत्यपि नामान्यनन्तस्य यशोंकितानि यत् शृण्वन्ति गायन्ति गृह्णन्ति साधवः. Okay, somebody can repeat. तद्वाग विसर्गो जनताघ विप्लवो यस्मिन् प्रतिश्लोकमबद्धवत्यपि नामान्यनन्तस्य यशोंकितानि यत् शृण्वन्ति गायन्ति गृह्णन्ति साधवः. तद्वाग्विसर्गो जनताघ विप्लवो नामानि अनन्तस्य यशोंकितानि यत् शृण्वन्ति गायन्ति गृह्णन्ति साधवः. Okay, Mataji, somebody wants to repeat. तद्वाग विसर्गो जनताघ विप्लवो यस्मिन् प्रतिश्लोकमबद्धवत्यपि नामान्यनन्तस्य यशोऽङ्कितानि यत् शृण्वन्ति गायन्ति गृह्णन्ति साधु तत् that va vocabulary visargah creation janata the people in general agha sins viplavah revolutionary yasman in which pratishlokam each and every stanza abhadyavatyapi irregularly composed api in spite of namani the transcendental names etc anantasya of the unlimited yashah glories ankitani depicted yat what shunvanti do hear gayanti do sing granti do accept sadhavah the purified men who are honest. Okay, translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. On the other hand, that literature which is full of descriptions of the transcendental glories of the name, fame, forms, pastimes, etc. of the unlimited Supreme Lord is different creation, full of transcendental words directed towards bringing about a revolution in the impious lives of the world's misdirected civilization. Such transcendental literature, even though imperfectly composed, are heard, sung, and accepted by purified men who are thoroughly honest. Purport is a quite long purport, but still we'll go through it. Because every line of this purport makes blood boil. And that's why, of course, of all of you also will experience same thing. It is a qualification of a great thinkers to pick up the best even from the worst. It is said that an intelligent man should pick up nectar from a stalk of poison, should accept gold even from a filthy place, should accept a good and qualified wife even from obscure family, and should accept a good lesson even from a man or from a teacher who comes from the untouchables. These are some of the ethical instructions for everyone in every place without exception. But a saint is far above the level of ordinary man. He is always absorbed in the glories of the Supreme Lord because by broadcasting the holy name and the fame of the Supreme Lord, the polluted atmosphere of the world will change. And as a result of propagating the transcendental literature like Srimad Bhagavatam, people will become sane in their transactions. While preparing this commentation on this particular stanza of Srimad Bhagavatam, we have a crisis before us. Our neighboring friend China has attacked the border of India with a militaristic spirit. We have practically no business in the political field, yet we see that previously there were both China and India, and they were both peacefully for centuries. Both lived peacefully for centuries without ill feeling. The reason is that they lived those days in an atmosphere of God consciousness, and every country over the surface of the world was God fearing, pure hearted, and simple. And there was no question of political diplomacy. There is no cause of quarrel between the two countries, India and China, over the land which is not very suitable for habitation. And certainly, there is no cause of fighting on this issue. But due to the age of quarrel, Kali, which we have discussed, there is always a chance of quarrel on a slight provocation. This is due not to the issues in the question, but to the polluted atmosphere of this age. Systematically, there is propaganda by the section of people to stop glorification of the name and the fame of the Supreme Lord. Therefore, there is the great need of disseminating the message of Srimad Bhagavatam all over the world. It is the duty of every responsible Indian to broadcast the transcendental message of Srimad Bhagavatam throughout the world, to do all the supremmost good, as well as to bring about the desired peace in the world. Because India has failed in her duty by neglecting this responsible work. There is so much quarrel and trouble all over the world. We are confident that if the transcendental message of Srimad Bhagavatam is received only by the leading men of the world, certainly there will be a change of heart, and naturally the people in the general will follow them. The mass of people in general are tools in the hands of the modern politicians and the leaders of the people. If there is a change in the heart of the leaders only, certainly there will be a radical change in the atmosphere of the world. We know that our honest attempt to present this great literature conveys the transcendental message for reviving the God consciousness of the people in general, and re-spiritualizing the world atmosphere is fraught with many difficulties. Our presenting this matter in adequate language, especially a foreign language, will certainly fail. And there will be so many literary discrepancies despite our honest attempt to present it in a proper way. But we are sure that with all our faults in this connection, the seriousness of the subject matter will be taken into the consideration, and the leaders of the society will still accept this due to its being an honest attempt to glorify the Almighty God. When there is a fire in the house, the inmates of the house go out to get help from the neighbors who may be foreigners, and yet without knowing the language, the victims of the fire express themselves and the neighbors understand the need, even though not expressed in the same language. The same spirit of cooperation is needed to broadcast this transcendental message of the Srimad Bhagavatam throughout the polluted atmosphere of the world. After all, it is a technical science of the spiritual values, and thus we are concerned with the techniques and not with the language. If the techniques of this great literature are understood by the people of the world, there will be success. When there are too many materialistic activities by the people in general all over the world, there is no wonder that a person in or nations attack another person or the nation on the slight provocation. That is the rule of this age of Kali or quarrel. The atmosphere is already polluted with corruption of all description, and everyone knows it well. There are so many unwanted literatures full of materialistic ideas of sense gratification. In many countries, there are bodies appointed by the state to detect and censor the obscene literature. This means that neither government nor the responsible leaders of the public want such literature. Yet, it is in the marketplace because the people want it for the sense gratification. The people in general want to read, that is natural instinct, but because their minds are polluted, they want such literature. Under the circumstances, transcendental literature like Srimad Bhagavatam will not only diminish the activities of the corrupt mind of the people in general, but also it will supply food for their hankering after reading some interesting literature. In the beginning, they may not like it because one suffering from the jaundice is reluctant to take sugar candy, but we should know that sugar candy is the only remedy for jaundice. Similarly, let there be systematic propaganda for popularizing reading of Srimad Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, which will act like a sugar candy for the jaundice like condition of the sense gratification. When men have a taste for this literature, the other literatures which are creating poison to the society will then automatically cease. We are sure, therefore, that everyone in the human society will welcome Srimad Bhagavatam, even though it is now presented with so many faults, for it is recommended by Sri Narada, who has very kindly appeared in this chapter. Granth Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Very powerful purport. I read it many times, and I always experienced that fire that Prabhupada was writing this purport actually. Okay, before diving inside, let us chant Mangala Charana. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshuromilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupak Kadamaiham Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namosute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyaevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadin Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Grim Yat Kripatamaham Vande Shri Gurum Diyatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Hare Krishna. Last week, of course, in a youth batch, we just discussed this previous verse, and this is a continuation of the same topic, where Vyasadeva has, okay, I will just give the context in a short. Shri Vyasadeva, the literary incarnation of the Lord, Vishnu incarnation, which has appeared to bring the scriptures into literary form, because before that the Holy Scriptures was memorized. Nothing was written because that was not needed. But Vyasdeva saw that yes, Kali Yuga is approaching, and people in the Kali Yuga will start becoming more and more dull in the memory power. They will become more and more dull in terms of the taking the right guidance. So that's why we have to have some kind of standard literature present there. So that's why Vyasadeva wrote all the Vedas. He brought everything into a proper systematic manner. Like in Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Sama Veda, Athar Veda, he systematically bought it into different sections, Brahmanyaka, Aranyaka, Samhita, Upanishads, and after that he wrote all the Vedangas, and with that, people in the in the upcoming times in the Kali Yuga, they will be able to access that the timeless wisdom which was imparted by the Lord in the hearts of Brahmadeva. Tene Brahma Hridaya Adikavaye. And that knowledge is preserved in this form. Such a Herculean task. It was not just only for the few centuries. This is literature which was not going to be read only for the day like a newspaper. Today we read the newspaper and tomorrow it becomes a scrap. Your textbook in the college and schools, you read it for 1 year, next year it will become a scrap. Magazines, after 1 month it will become a scrap. Like that many things. And a novel, once you read, next moment it is a scrap. But this literature, Srimad Bhagavatam, not just Srimad Bhagavatam, all the Vedic literature, the literature for the time immemorial, it is the literature for whole Yuga. And this literature, and such a kind of a huge task that Vyasadeva has bought, it bought Vedas in the literary form. What is Vedas? Vedas means knowledge. Knowledge means everything. Everything that human knew, everything human has to know, everything that human will be knowing and need to be known, it will be written in the Vedas. Vedas contains everything. That's why this is a huge task that Vyasadeva has done. And after doing that, somebody is doing a big task, he will be so proud, so satisfied, so content in his heart, isn't it? But opposite to that, Vyasadeva started feeling that emptiness in his heart. He was not feeling that satisfaction that I have done something great. He was not feeling that proud, Arey Baba, this is such a kind of a great thing. The whole world is praising him, thanking him. But Vyasadeva was not satisfied in his heart. And in that situation, Vyasadeva started meditating on his Guru. Vyasadeva, he is personally Vishnu, a Vishnu incarnate, literal incarnation of Vishnu. And what guidance Vishnu will need? But just to set a right example in front of us, Vyasadeva started meditating on his Guru. Whenever we are in trouble, whenever there's a challenge in front of us, what we should do? Google, ChatGPT. Sometimes people call ChatGPT as a guru also. Whatever you want, it will answer. Google Guru, ChatGPT Guru. But these are not right sources of the Guru. Guru is the one who is there, who is ready to pull our ears. Beta, galti kiya hai tumne. ChatGPT will rarely tell you that you are done a mistake. Google will always glorify you. These are not kind of a real gurus. Real guru is the one who gives the guidance, who is ready to pull our ears when we are doing mistakes. So, Vyasadeva, to set a right example for us, he took shelter of his guru, Narada Muni. And Narada Muni, with so much compassion, came to instruct Vyasadeva. He knew exactly what was the issue. Why Vyasadeva is feeling despondent? What is the problem? What is the reason for despondency of Vyasadeva? Narada knew. Narada was knowing this because of his position. Because generally, the problems that we create, they cannot be solved at the same level. To solve those problems, we need to have some higher view, isn't it? And until unless we raise our standard, we're not able to see the problem. And you have seen that Bhul Bhulaiya. I'm not talking about the movie. I'm talking about the Bhul Bhulaiya, that maze you call, right? We go inside and there is so much blocks and all these things. You have to turn, twist. Bhul Bhulaiya, maze. Generally in the gardens they will make it like that. So when you are inside the maze, you don't find the route. But when you are taking the higher position, then you can find, Arey Baba, don't go there, come back this way, that way. This way, the person who is in a higher level can find a root to the problem. Same way, the problem that are created, we cannot solve the problems at that same level. We have to rise our level. Or at least we have to take guidance from the person who is already at a higher level. That's why we need Guru. We need Guru either to give the guidance from the top to solve the problem or to lift us to the higher level so that we can solve the problem. Problems, but materially there are so many problems. Material world is full of problems, isn't it? Full of problems. And we try to solve it with our material brain and material intelligence. And the problems is solved? No, it's going to become a more and more and more scarier. Once what happened in Russia somewhere, these doctors, they got some dentist, they got some kind of a cement to be filled in the teeth so that teeth will become more stronger and all this, some kind of thing. Treatment was there. Doctors thought, yes, this treatment will make people better. But after that, they had started understanding, they started finding that there are some kind of deaths happening in Russia, unknown reason. They started doing the research on that. They found out that filling they used to do it on the teeth, that contained some poison. And that was causing the result. And then again more challenge. And again another surgery is to remove the cement filling. You know, there was a plague in what is that? Great Britain. They thought, this plague is happening because of the cats. Because wherever the cats were, there were pigs as a cat in the house. The people used to think that of course there was deaths were happening. People started thinking the cats are the cause of the deaths. Kill the cat. They all over the places they killed the cat in Great Britain. And then death started increasing. And then the story is not a cat, it's a rat who was causing the death. And cat were there to kill the rat. And then all these things. So like materially we solve the problems, it will become worse and worse and worse. We have to rise our level to solve that problem. Until as we rise our problem, rise our level to the spiritual plane, we cannot solve the problems. That's why Guru is needed to pull up to the higher level so that we can see the reality of life. Gyaninas tattvadarshinaha. We have to accept that Guru who is a tattvadarshi. Upadeshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshina. Who has seen the truth, they only can impart help. And this way, in Vyasadeva's life, Narada Muni came to guide him. And as soon as Narada Muni comes in front of Vyasadeva, he is taking the role of a guru. First thing he started telling Vyasadeva, of course he knew the answer, he knew the reason, why it is happening. And again, Vyasadeva, Narada Muni, he started rebuking, scolding Vyasadeva, and Vyasadeva was humbly accepting it. Of course, here also the role play is happening. Vyasadeva, even though Vishnu, accepting the role of a disciple, Narada Muni, the devotee of Vishnu, is accepting the role of a guru. And in the role of a guru, Narada Muni is scolding Vyasadeva, and Vyasadeva is accepting humbly to set an example how a disciple should present himself in front of a guru. Sometimes guru is scared to tell the faults of the disciple, thinking that arey bura maan jayega. If I tell faults of my disciple, he will stop giving me donations and my ashram will collapse. And in this way, the gurus are obliged to the disciples and disciples are dominating over the guru. That is not an honest guru and disciple relationship. Guru must have courage to tell the faults of his disciples without any fear. That's the real guru. And disciples must give that freedom to guru to present his fault. Otherwise, disciples will feel that much kind of ego. मेरी गलती निकालेगा, मेरा guru मुझे बात ही नहीं समझता. My guru doesn't understand me. Generally, many of the disciples have that kind of a problem, and that's a challenge of a guru. The disciples, just by hearing one device course, they think that here I know everything, Prabhuji. I can go and defeat even biggest Mayavadis also, Prabhuji. And just one device course, we become so excited. I know everything. Of course, a device course is designed such a way that we get lots of opening of the mind, and yes, that gives lots of confidence. True. But yes, we become so overconfident that we just challenge even the biggest of the biggest materialist, and after that we get lots of bashings and come back. Yeah. When like disciples, they don't accept instructions from the guru. They feel very bad. Hmm. So disciples should be free to accept corrections. Disciple, the real nature of disciple is always accept instructions from the guru. Hmm. And till the time the disciple is having that mood, definitely is growing and progressing. The moment disciple stops taking instructions from the guru and thinks himself, yes, I have become a guru, he is stopped growing. He stops growing, he stops becoming, he stops improving. Remember long back, I told the story of Nachiketa here. Long back, here only I spoke. And maybe Monday, weekday classes I saw. Okay, another story not connected here. So yes, so here Narada Muni started rebuking Vyasadeva. And he mentioned what Vyasadeva you have written is the Tad Vayasam Tirtham. This is Vayasa Tirtha. Naya Dvachaschitra Padam Harer Yasho Jagat Pavitram Pragunita Karhichit. Tad Vayasam Tirtham Ushanti Manasa Nayatra Hamsa Niramanti Ushikshaya. Whatever you have written, whatever you have, the literature you have written, it is the place for entertainment for the crows. कौवों का तीर्थ स्थल है ये. यहाँ पे हंस नहीं रमेंगे. Hamsas or the swans will never take pleasure into this. What was that Vayasa Tirtha that Narada Muni was explaining? Whole Vedic literature. Narada Muni is rebuking, अरे आपने एक कौवों का तीर्थ बना दिया है. And what he wanted to do it? Jagat Pavitram Pradrunita Karichit. What is that Jagat Pavitram? Which can do? Hare Yasho. The glories of the Hari has to be glorified. It's not there in the Vedas. But just now you said, अरे Vedas means everything. वेदों में तो सब कुछ है. वेदों में तो भगवान का कथा भी तो है कि नहीं है? Vedas contain the glories of the Lord, isn't it? But it is like a minute proportion. Once in a hotel, there was a menu. In the menu, the specialty of that hotel was अंगूर भोपले की सब्जी. भोपला मीन्स pumpkin को हिंदी में क्या बोलते हैं? कद्दू. अंगूर कद्दू की सब्जी is the specialty of the hotel. The per customer, we get very curiously ordered, okay, let me have this अंगूर कद्दू की सब्जी, and a pumpkin grape vegetable special, and he ordered. And he saw that sabji coming in front of him, and he started looking, where is angur? Everywhere kaddu. No angur there, no pumpkin, no angur, only pumpkin. What is this? He called the waiter. Hey, bhai, idhar aao. There is no pumpkin, no angur here, only pumpkin. What is this? No, nahi hai na. Angur hi hai. अंगूर है. अरे ऐसा कैसा अंगूर है? There is no अंगूर here, only pumpkin is visible. नहीं बोलो डाला ना. We put angur there. We are not lying, and he was not lying also. We have put angur. We have put 50-50 proportion. 50-50 proportion. What it is? I'm only in my plate. Everything of kaddu is there. No angur. When you say 50-50 proportion है प्रभु, how 50-50? बताओ कैसे 50-50? प्रभु, one kaddu we put one angur प्रभु जी. So it is like that. So whole sabji become kaddu ki sabji. The angur was only for the namesake. है ना? We have a paneer butter masala. Paneer क्या? What is paneer matar masala? The mutton is more and paneer is small. That we had to search paneer into that. So it happened. This was the case with the Vedas. Vedas definitely have the glorification of the Lord. It's not like it is not there, but we are struggling hard to search it. Whole Vedic literature is full of the flowery language. What is the shloka from Srimad Bhagavad Gita? It mentions, Traigunya Vishaya Veda Nistrigunda Nistrigunya Bhavarjuna. Another shloka is there. So it talks about the Veda Vadarta Chaham. Vedas are like a flowery language. Yamimam Pushpitam Vacham. These are kind of a flowery words of the Vedas. People get distracted. People get distracted because of so many different alluration that the Vedas gives. You want good wife? There's a solution in the Vedas. You want good wealth? There's a solution in the Vedas. You want youth, ever youth? Chavantrash. There is also in the Vedas. You want power? The solution is there in the Vedas. You want everything in the world? Vedas give the solution. But if you are searching for Krishna, that also Veda gives. But who searches for that? People are distracted because of all those allurations. Literature. People say that हम प्रभु जी literate हैं, हम लोग पढ़े लिखे हैं. We can read. What is the definition of literacy? What is the definition of literacy? Literate person का definition क्या है? मतलब as per the records, somebody who can sign his name is a literate person, है ना? But is that kind of a real definition of literacy? Somebody can read some ABCD is a literate person. Okay, consider that okay, somebody has passed 12th standard. Can we call him educated person? 12th standard pass kar liya. There are so many. Not everybody is able to pass that 12th standard barrier also. If you see the statistics in the India, very few people they can reach to the education of 12th standard. 10वीं तक भी नहीं पहुंच पाते लोग. 12th standard बहुत बड़ी बात है. And after that 12th standard becoming graduate, as per statistics, only 12% people, like students, they can take a higher education. Graduate सिर्फ 12% लोग बनते हैं. And we call them educated. Who's educated? Who can write their name? Who's educated? Who's 12th pass? Or who's educated? Who is graduate? Among the graduate, who is actually really cultured? Many of the scams are done by all these people. So even the education we are talking about, what we are talking about, that cannot guarantee the culture, that cannot guarantee the character, that cannot guarantee somebody will be able to take the right decision in his life. And yesterday somewhere, just newspaper, you just open it. Engineer committed suicide. Engineer did crime. Engineer killed their partner. Engineer, these all educated people are doing those crimes. Somebody who is illiterate person does a crime, okay, we accept, okay, that is, we can blame on it. But educated people are also, education doesn't guarantee that somebody has acquired that ability to take a right decision in their life. So that's why this all education is become a Vayasa Tirtha, the crow's place of entertainment. Where is the crow gets his interest? Wherever there is some dead bodies lying on rotting, crows will enjoy there. The rotting dead body, crows will enjoy. Hamsas, they'll not like it there. What is the place of interest of Hamsas? Some kind of serene place where the clean water is there. Lotuses are growing, cool breeze is there like a Manas Sarovar. Most of the Hamsas are residing there, Manas Sarovar. That is a place for them. Crows don't go there. You don't find crows in Manas Sarovar. You find crows into the gutters only. That is the place for them. And that's what Vasudeva, Narada Muni was telling, Vyasa, you have written, whatever you have written is the Vayasa Tirtha. What you have to do, what you should be doing. You have to be glorifying the Lord. Namani anantasya yashon kitaniyat. The glories of the Lord is full of victory. भगवान की कथाएं जो है वो विजय से पूर्ण है. दैट्स व्हाई चैतन्य महाप्रभु सेज, राइट, परम विजयते श्री कृष्ण संकीर्तनम. Shri Krishna Sankirtan is all glorious and is all victorious. Param Vijayate. And there is no defeat for that. Sankirtan movement will never see the defeat. It will be always victorious. Why? Because Narjuna explains here, Tadvaga Visargo, Janatagha Viplamo, Yasmin Tapi Shlokam Abhaddhavatapi. This literature has the potency to create revolution. क्रांति करने की शक्ति इस लिटरेचर में है, इस श्रीमद् भागवतम में है. भागवतम can create the revolution. They can transform people's life. They can bring person from the wretched situation to the highest situation. Even somebody who can see, who can see the most abominable chandalas, the Bhagavatam can put him to the level of a biggest sannyasi, biggest educated brahmana. That level it can bring. That potency this literature has. Tadvaga visargo janataga viplavo agha. The sinful lives of the people can be churned and brought into the right thing. When churning happens, impurity comes out and it gets separated, and the pure, everything becomes pure. Churning, that is the process of churning. Janatag viplavo. And this literature is able to that. Tatvak, that literature, Tatvak Visarga Janatag Viplavo, Yasmin, even though it is abhaddhavatapi, even though it is having a full of discrepancy. People say that, Kyare Prabhuji, this I'm not ready to preach, Prabhuji. कौन मेरी बात सुनेगा? Who will listen to me? I am a small kid, Prabhuji. I don't know how to speak also. But Prabhupada mentions, even every word that you are putting is full of discrepancy. This will bring you the glory. Namani anantasya shonkitani. If somebody is sincerely trying to spread the glories of holy name, somebody is sincerely trying to preach the pure bhakti, that literature will bring the glory, even though it is full of many faults. We can see the right example of Srila Prabhupada. You have heard Prabhupada classes, right? In initial days, we were thinking, अरे Prabhupada के classes कुछ समझ में नहीं आते, Prabhuji, don't understand at all. It's because Prabhupada's voice was so heavy and his words were, sometimes the first time we have started hearing some spiritual content in our life. All the time we have heard only technical content. Technical words are so familiar with us. When the spiritual word starts coming in English, all become bouncer. कुछ समझ में नहीं आता है. Heard Prabhupada lectures, है ना? We have to use the transcription, and along with transcription we have to keep on, and every word we have to stop, pause, look at the dictionary, what is the meaning and all these things, and then we think that थोड़ा तो कुछ समझ में आ रहा है. You talk about yourself now. Imagine Prabhupada has gone to USA. Indian people hearing Indian persons the audio, you are thinking that is so heavy. What about Americans? And in our companies, you see that Americans, when they come for the meetings, they will always tell, Prabhuji, thoda sa speak slowly so that we can understand. They also struggle to understand your language, even though you are talking same technical words there. So now Prabhupada is preaching to all the Americans. And that too in the world where the people were rebellious. Challenges are many. And when Srila Prabhupada was writing this purport, Prabhupada was not at all gone to USA. He was in India only. He was in India. He's contemplating about going to the Western world. He has not decided, he has not thought also which country he will be going to preach. Not at all. Just he's got his Guru's instruction that go and preach in English language. That's all. And there he is contemplating how to fulfill his Guru's instructions. And that meditation, he's writing this purpose of Srimad Bhagavatam. And there, Prabhupada is always thinking that he knew that yes, there are some lot of shortcomings in him. And of course, Hmm. The language problem, and then of course Prabhupada's English was the best. Even though Prabhupada is humbly telling, yes, there are discrepancies. You know, Prabhupada's English, Prabhupada used to write in his English in English language. Uh, his guru, Bhaktivedanta Sri Thakur, has given a standing instruction to his editors. Whatever Abhay Babu writes, publish it without editing. That was the confidence of his guru. And still Prabhupada was telling, yes, my literature is full of discrepancies. There may be some grammatical mistakes. There may be some mistakes into here and there. But he was confident that these things will be accepted by the leaders of the society whole. And he was not expecting that every masses will take it up. He just want the leaders to take this knowledge. They take this message. Why? Because even if some leaders take it, all masses will start following it. There's a shloka from Bhagavad Gita, right? Yajyad acharati shreshthas tattat eve tarojana. So whatever the highest ranks of people follow, everybody will accept. That's what Prabhupada was targeting only at the leaders of the society. They should accept it, and they will definitely accept it because this whole literature is honestly written and is full of glories of the Lord. And of course, in this situation, Prabhupada also comments the contemporary situation, how this literature of Srimad Bhagavatam can bring the revolution in the world. Prabhupada talks about the problems in the current society. That time, when Prabhupada was writing this literature, almost 1962, around that, I guess so. That time Prabhupada was writing, and that time the China has already attacked India. Indian leadership in the dreams also have never the thought that China kind of a country will attack India. Hindi चीनी भाई भाई करके लोग अपना बात चला रहे थे, and suddenly China one night attacked and everybody was shaking from their dreams. Yes, reality. See the reality. One country has attacked us. He has a huge army, and we have not even guns with our army. And that kind of situation, political situation. Prabhupada says, Prabhupada comments on this situation. Of course, he's not commenting on the Chinese attitude or Indian attitude and all this, but he comments on that, why these things has happened. The two countries, India and China, they had friendly relationship for centuries, not even years. Centuries, India, China lived happily. Never in the history, even the centuries, has China attacked India. There's no need at all. But suddenly, what is this happened that these two countries are fighting? There were a very nice cordial relationship between India and China. Indian philosopher used to go to China. Buddhism has traveled from India to China. Kung Fu has traveled from India to China. Our Vedic treatment, medicines has traveled from India to China. And that's why all these things happen. Many things that Chinese culture is following is originating from India. Almost everything. But suddenly, that cordial relationship, that harmony between these two nations, why it has broken. Prabhupada points out the real fact why India-China has become enemy now is the reason is a godlessness. Yeah. The moment the one country, they gave up the idea of God consciousness in their whole doctrine. And of course, many times Prabhupada also clearly talks about it. The communism, which is a godless society, godless doctrine, which creates the lots of insecurity among the people. Godlessness is definitely the evil in the society, and communism promotes it, and that's why the one country is attacking other country. Till the time both the countries were God-fearing, both of them were harmoniously sitting together. Even borders were longest border India-China had. But suddenly one day one country gave the God consciousness, fight happened. God consciousness, so godlessness can create havoc in the society. Even the people who are atheists, they know it. And they were biggest atheist preacher of the atheism in the Western world, in the history. He used to bring all his philosopher friends and preach about atheism in his house. But he used to make sure none of his servants will be hearing those discourses. And one person asked, I think it was a Nietzsche or somebody, I don't know, I'm forgetting the name of that person. One person asked this philosopher, atheist philosopher, you are preaching atheism to us so vibrantly and so effectively to us. Why don't you allow your servants to come here and hear this? He says, no, I don't allow them because till time they are theistic, my servants are theistic, they are God fearing, they are honest to me. The moment they will hear my philosophy, they will start cheating me because there is no fear. There is no fear of God, there is no morality. There is no fear of God, there is no regulation, there is no thought of being good. So this is the cause. The moment theoretically itself you are rejecting the existence of God, all immorality in the country, in the society starts creeping in. And Prabhupada mentions here the root cause of despondency or the disturbance in the society is godlessness. And that's what people are preaching. Till the time you know God exists and everything belongs to God, you will not do crime. So, moment you understand, yes, this belongs to God, and the moment you reject the existence of God, everything belongs to you. And if you go somewhere, like I gave an example in the base, suddenly one boy comes from outside in the base and he sees that there's a nice prasadam plate after a whole day of hard work and book distribution, hungry. Night is coming in the base and there is a nice prasadam plate kept there. He will be feeling so happy, so lucky, and thankfully to God, he will take the plate and start eating. And he will enjoy. Prasadam has come and all these things. But suddenly somebody comes, Arey Prabhuji, ye plate kisi aur ke liye rakha tha. That same delicious plate, he will not be able to enjoy because he knows that this belongs to somebody else. Same thing is happening with us. We can't enjoy in this world because we know that this whole world belongs to Krishna. There is no place. We are in this world to enjoy. Purpose is to enjoy. Until unless we forget Krishna, we forget God, we cannot be happy in this world. That is the atheism. The atheism wants to remove God from the scene at all so that at least peacefully you can enjoy. And a thief cannot be happy in the life, even though he earns a lot of money because he knows this property belongs to somebody else. With things that you are not rightful owner and you are capturing it, it will always make you fearful. But something which you rightfully you own it, it will give satisfaction. The servant who is serving the master nicely, and at the end master is giving him salary, and that salary gives him satisfaction and safety. But something he steals from the master's house and brings him home, that will create havoc, that will give him a sleeplessness. That's why many people earn a lot of money, but they can't sleep because they know that this is not our rightful share that we are grabbing. So, right, whatever we entitle and we enjoy, that will give satisfaction. And they say, whole world belongs to God, and we try to enjoy removing God, that will not create satisfaction and happiness in society. And that's the reason whole society is in a trouble. In a society, there is no happiness there. Every brother is fighting with each other. Every country is fighting with each other. Every family, there are quarrels. Why? God consciousness is not there. And still, when people go on the streets taking Bhagavad Gita and requesting people, Prabhuji, Bhagavad Gita ले लो प्रभुजी, लोग बोलते हैं अरे हमारे घर में झगड़े शुरू हो जाएंगे. If you take Bhagavad Gita, you never heard this? People think that by bringing Bhagavad Gita in a home, their fights will start in their homes. Arey, to start a fight in your home, you don't need Bhagavad Gita at all. Already there are fights in your home. If you bring Bhagavad Gita, at least there will be peace in your family. Krishna gives the Shanti mantra in the Bhagavad Gita, right? What is Shanti mantra in Bhagavad Gita? Yeah, What is that? भोक्तारे यज्ञ तपसाम सर्वलोक महेश्वरम सोदम सर्वभूतानाम ज्ञात्वा माम शांति मृच्छति. You want peace in life? Bring Bhagavad Gita in a home. Until you bring Bhagavad Gita in a home, there will be no peace. When people still think bringing Bhagavad Gita will start quarrel in our family. Arey, this is already quarrel in the family. You don't need Bhagavad Gita for that. Okay? So, yeah, Prabhupada is mentioning is because people are always liking. Now, even the literate people, they have likings for all this worldly literature which is full of immoral stories. We want to see all the Bollywood and Hollywood movies with full of corruption, all kind of bad ideas into that. We are entertaining, we are enjoying all these things. Why we are enjoying all these things? Because our minds are already corrupt. That's why we want that. And suddenly somebody comes and tells, Prabhuji, this is Ramayana ka story, Prabhuji, please read it. We say, अरे ये कौन पढ़ेगा आज? आज के जमाने में तो ये नहीं चलता प्रभुजी. रामायण कथा, महाभारत कथा, the story of the Bhagavatams and all this, who will read it? People are not willing to read it because they are diseased. बीमार हैं सब लोग. The same question was there in front of Prabhupada. Prabhupada went to USA and that time Prabhupada was thinking, who will hear this message? Prabhupada mentions this in this song called Markine Bhagavad Dharma. So this whole world, Western world, that time at least Western world was full of corruption, so many bad ideas. People were so grossly sense gratifier, they may definitely will not have the taste of hearing Harikatha. Who will hear this? So, but it is our duty to keep telling this Harikatha. The situation of the Western world people is like a people who has contracted jaundice. Jaundice people, if you give him the sugarcane juice, will he like it? वो बोलेगा अरे क्या खिला रहा है मुझे ये? What are you giving me? It is so bitter. But you are drinking the nectar of sugarcane juice, you will like it, you will relish it. But the jaundice person, he will hate it. The worldly people who are rejecting Harikatha, they are like those jaundice people. They don't want to hear Harikatha. Here, all of you have come today in the morning of Sunday. Instead of going outside somewhere in a shopping mall or maybe park, fun park, you have come here to hear Harikatha because all of you have got that taste. But those people, they don't find that taste because those people are diseased people. They don't have the taste, they don't have likings for it. Then what we should do? It's our duty to give them this Harikatha, even they reject it, even they deny it. People go to on the roads and they give Bhagavad Gita to everybody. If you give Bhagavad Gita to 100 people, how many people are going to take Bhagavad Gita? 1 or 2 maybe. You are accepting 99 rejections for selling that one Bhagavad Gita. But still it is our duty to force this Bhagavad Gita in those people's hands. Because these are people are jaundiced and this is a medicine for their disease situation. This is a cure for that. So, it's our duty. Prabhupada says there is a problem in the society, there is a problem in the world. This Iran and America war is happening. Why is happening? Because Iran has did something or America is wrong and Iran is wrong? It's not for them. It is because of you people who are sitting here. Because you are not preaching Krishna consciousness. Prabhupada mentions this. Because we are not preaching Krishna consciousness. India has failed in its duty to give this Krishna consciousness, this God consciousness to the world. That is our duty. And we have failed into that. That's why this Iran and America war is happening. We are responsible for that. We have to make these Americans and Iranians Krishna conscious, God conscious. Then this war will stop. And of course, who is responsible that you are not having gas cylinder in your home? You are responsible because you are not preaching. If you want to solve the problems, what you have to do? You have to solve problem of America and Iran. What do you have to do? I have to preach Krishna consciousness. And yes, this literature will bring the glories. नामानि अनंतस्य यशों की तानियत. You may, people think, अरे भाई कैसे हो सकता है ये? भागवतम is giving guarantee. नामानि अनंतस्य यशों की तानियत. Success is guaranteed. Just try it. Just try for it. Just try to speak Donald Trump about Bhagavad Gita. Why not? Why not? Prabhupada did it. Prabhupada's disciples did it. George Harrison, not George Harrison, the one who preached George Harrison, Shyam Sundar Prabhu. He came from Canada to UK. What he had? He had a few dollars in his bank account, not a single place to stay. These people were staying in a garage and they were dreaming to meet George Harrison, who was a billionaire that time, to preaching Krishna consciousness. Prabhupada sent his devotees in Delhi to preach Krishna consciousness there. They don't have in a small place, no temple at all that time in India. Iskcon, nobody knew Iskcon about it. And Prabhupada was telling them, go and meet Indira Gandhi, have an appointment and preach her Krishna consciousness. That is ambition. That is a preaching mood. That is the fire we should have. We want to preach to the highest people, highest runs of the people. And yes, success will follow. We have a fire. What kind of fire we should have? Fire, like the desire, the eagerness of the person whose house is burning. That kind of intensity we should have. If your house is burning, you will shy. अरे मैं कैसे जाऊं मेरे पड़ोसी से बात करने के लिए? मेरा झगड़ा हुआ था कल. Yesterday I had a fight with my neighbor. How will I go and ask him water to douse the fire in my house? You will not bother about it at all. Yesterday I had a fight with my neighbor. Today I will go and ask him, give me water. My house is burning. You will not hesitate. You will not shy about it, right? The same necessity, same urge, same eagerness has to come. My house is in the fire. Whole world is in the fire. Let me douse it. Let me talk about this Krishna consciousness. Whatever language you speak, it will be heard. That eagerness in your message, that eagerness in your heart will convey this message, not these words, not this iridicity of your conveying messages. It doesn't matter. Your eagerness and your urge to spread these glories, that only matters, nothing else. And success will follow. Okay? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. Granth Bhagavatam ki jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Any questions or comments? Or you want to say something?